What's up, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont economic realtor. How's everybody doing? Got a mustache today. Tomorrow is the start of November, which I'm gonna have a mustache for the Movember charity for men's mental health, testicular cancer, and prostate cancer. Um, so I think a pretty good cause. But wanted to make a video about a couple different things today. Um, First of all, I read this article that I'll leave in the description here, that Long Island housing prices are still going up. And I was a little bit surprised by this because in my mind, Long Island is a place where they pack people in. Vermont is a place where we're pretty spread out. They have more building restrictions. It's harder for people to come and build rapidly. But Long Island is a place where, I'm sure there's a ton of building restrictions as well, but everybody's packed in. There's a ton of homes. It's this tiny little island, and there's 6 million people on it. I mean, I guess it's not that small, but still 6 million people on this island just outside of New York City. So my girlfriend is actually from Long Island, and so I know a little bit about what it's like for people who grow up there and the type of people likely to buy a home on Long Island. So it makes some sense to me that housing prices are still on the rise. I mean, a lot of people will live with their parents until they find someone to marry or until they can buy a home, just because there's not much housing down there. Or there's a lot of people that live in the city and then want more space and decide to move out and move to Long Island, which is the suburbs, is a little bit more space, even though there's 6 million people, which Vermont has 600,000 people. So so at first I was surprised to hear that Long Island prices are still rising, but when I think about it a little bit more and you just think about the dynamics of Long Island, it's pretty built out. There's not that many new places to build, unless you're going to go to like the Hamptons or somewhere along those lines and put more houses in and take away the acreage that people have. So in a lot of ways, it's pretty similar to Vermont, where supply is relatively restricted, and if you have a strong demand and no supply or no way to increase the supply, then it just makes sense that prices would still be on the rise. I mean, compared to some of these other places where maybe it's been easier to build, like Arizona or potentially Idaho. I mean, I guess I don't know too much about those markets, but that's just my thoughts about what I'm seeing in Long Island and what I see from afar. I think there's a lot of parallels to Vermont with the supply side of things, but coming in today to talk about some Vermont numbers. I didn't do a great job at recapping this right away, but it's almost November, and the September housing numbers, they came out a couple weeks ago for Vermont, and there were some interesting things in there that I thought. Sales continue to drop, so the amount of transactions going on continue to go down. 3.5% for new homes, 8.3% for condos. I have a little sheet here with notes. Something I thought was interesting is single family listings increased in September. So basically year over year throughout 2020, 2021, and 2022, single family listings have dropped. Now they've gone up 3.2% from their September numbers year over year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in October here, but I think that's a pretty big step, at least a big step in the right direction. And inventory is still down, so there's still less homes on the market than there was last year, but single family home listings are up. So people, at least in September, still buying homes, still flying off the market quick, but more people are selling than last year, which I thought was interesting when we've seen decreases across the board. what I'm seeing when I'm talking to buyers these days, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear with buyers. There's a lot of fear with sellers that the buyers aren't going to be there. I mean, a big thing is you want to have, if you're a seller, you want to have your home as nice as possible. You want to have it ready to go. If there's little things that you're aware of, take care of them, touch up the paint. I mean, it's just, things aren't selling like they were. The rising rates has cut a lot of this demand. A big portion of, or a big price range, at least in with people that I talk with, a big price range that's being affected is that $600,000, I would say, to about $800,000 price range, where a lot of those buyers, if they're moving from out of state and they have to move, they're going to want a nice home like that. They're going to pay the price. They're going to pay that 600 to 800,000. But a lot of the local move up buyers who maybe bought something in 2018, 2017, even 2020, 2021 for $300,000-$400,000 when rates were low, thinking that now at this time of life we will move up, the move up buyer as they're called. Those buyers are having a lot of trouble. I mean, they're not having a lot of trouble because they have a place, they have a home, but a lot of the conversations I'm having are people calling in about our listings, or listings on the market. We get calls about a variety of listings, and it's something listed for $660,000, let's say. And they'll drive by, they'll think this house is great, this neighborhood is great, the pictures online looks great. They'll call in, they're all excited, and then maybe we'll go out and see the property, or they will, I've had it a couple times where I've set up a showing and then I get a call back saying, hey, we looked at the numbers and we're no longer interested. One of these buyers for a $660,000 home told me that she has a mortgage right now at $1,200 a month. And if she were to buy that $660,000 property, the estimated mortgage payment for her is around $4,000 to $5,000 a month, $4,000 to $5,000, somewhere in that range, is what she said. I don't know how in depth she went with her numbers, but if that's what you're faced with as a move up buyer, things are going to stall. So, there are still buyers out there. There are still people moving here to Vermont. There is a lot of demand, but as of right now, demand is being stifled more than it has been because of these rising rates, and it's not just affecting the people that could only afford up to $300,000, and now rates are higher and they can't afford nearly as much. It's affecting the people that would normally move up or would have moved up last year when rates were at 3%. But they're not going to move up this year because it's just too expensive for them, and it's not worth that extra money and that lifestyle hit. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's a huge financial decision to purchase a home, and nobody wants to make a bad investment. Nobody wants to buy a home and sell it for less. But at the same time, a lot of these, especially in the single family home market, more than people don't want to lose money on their home, they want the lifestyle. They want to be able to live in a place, have their family be comfortable, and not be house poor. That's a common saying that a lot of buyers are familiar with. They don't want to spend too much money on their mortgage payment, so they don't have any money to save, they don't have any money to invest, and they don't have money to go on vacations or do stuff with their family. So these rates are making, especially the move up buyer, rethink, because they don't want to change their lifestyle. Obviously they don't want to lose money at all, but in my opinion, I mean, especially if you're comparing buying versus renting, renting, you're losing money regardless. If you're paying, renting a single family home right now, that it's going to be probably around $4,000 a month if you're getting a nice large single family home, and that's money that's just gone. Whereas a mortgage payment, at least you're paying off interest, and you have the benefits of appreciation, you have tax benefits, things along those lines. So I guess coming full circle, you know, it's a lifestyle thing for a lot of people, and price matters and the investment matters, but also providing for their family and having a good life for their family is something that that is a big motivation for a lot of buyers. So just wanted to talk about that. Something to it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the if the new listings increase in October or if that goes down, and what happens to inventory over the next few months. I mean, there's a lot of homes that are sitting on the market longer than they used to, especially in that $600,000 to $800,000 range. From what I've seen, I mean, if it's nice, it's still going to sell quick. There's still enough buyers out there, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to inventory. That's going to be a big number to look at over the next few months here. So anyway, just kind of wanted to rant about a few different things. Anyway, Liam O'Reilly, Vermont economic realtor. If you're looking to buy or sell a home or know anybody who is in Vermont or anywhere else, let me know. I'd be happy to help. So see you guys in the next video.